Greetings, traveler, and welcome to this video. Today I'll explain what to do if you're lost in the astral plane in D&D. So, if you're a DM and your players have had the wonderful idea of putting a bag of holding into a bag of holding, or if you're curious or just simply lost, I hope you'll enjoy this video. So, first of all, what is the astral plane? If you watched my explanation of the multiverse video, you'll know that the astral plane is the air between the bowl of soup that is the material plane and the chairs that are the outer planes. It is the background of the multiverse, a vast, mostly empty void. It is also a transitory plane like the ethereal, meaning that it is filled with portals and is used to travel to other cooler planes. Fortunately, you can't travel to the plane of fire from here. So, now that we know what it is, let's look at how to get there. The first way that comes to mind is the plane shift spell. You can, with this spell and the right tuning fork, teleport yourself into the astral. With this method, you are physically in the astral and can travel around and also get hurt, which is dumb. If you don't want that, you can use the spell Astral Projection. With this spell, you can yeet your soul out of your body and into the astral plane. Your real body stays behind, where it's in a kind of sleep, and does not need to eat or drink, and it doesn't age. The only thing that connects you to your body is a silver cord attached to your astral form. And as long as that silver cord is intact, you cannot die. If your body is attacked in the real world or in the astral plane and is reduced to 0 hit points, you return to your body in the real world if the silver cord is intact. Fortunately, almost nothing can cut through the silver cord. The final way, the one the players are most likely to use, though it might be accidental, is to take a bag of holding or similar item and put it into another bag of holding. This will create a massive one-way portal into the astral plane that swallows up anything that is lucky enough to be near it. The portal then disappears. So, now that you're here, what's it like? Well, the astral is a plane of thought. This means that, like in the ethereal, you can move with just a thought. It also means that distance is meaningless and it is up to the DM to determine how long a journey to somewhere in the astral is, if you don't want to travel between planes. Time in the astral is also basically non-existent, so you don't age or become hungry or thirsty. As you journey through the astral, you will notice these weird two-dimensional pools of color, very creatively named color pools. These color pools are actually planar portals that lead to either the material plane, the ethereal plane, an outer plane, or the outlands, which will be discussed in a different video. You can use these portals to leave if you really want to, but you could also continue. You see, as you travel through the astral, you might come across something weird. As you fly through the empty void, you suddenly see an enormous statue, about the size of a large island. It is vaguely humanoid in shape, with a large beard and huge, hollow eye sockets that would have stared into the empty void if they were not empty. But the more you stare at it, the more you realize that this is no mere statue. It is a corpse of something that was once mighty but has now fallen. And you are filled with sadness, not because you know who or what it was, but because you know that there's no one left to mourn them. What I just described to you is an encounter with a dead deity. Yes, you heard that right. There are dead deities in the astral. You see, the astral is not just the way to travel to outer planes, it is the graveyard of the gods. So now that we've talked about what you can find in the astral, how about we talk about who you can find? The inhabitants of the astral plane. The first major intelligent inhabitant that comes to mind is the Githyanki, seen below me. These weird humanoids were once slaves of the Mind Flayer Empire. The history of the Mind Flayer is long, but basically these were humanoids with squids for head called the Mind Flayers. Once ruled or will rule an empire that spanned multiple material plane worlds and maybe even some of the outer planes. These Mind Flayers were really lazy, so they took a bunch of slaves. One of these were the Gith. Then one Gith, whose name was Gith, decided that they didn't want to be a slave anymore, so they rebelled and won. Then, sometime later, one Gith disagreed with another Gith because of some stupid moral reasons, and the Gith was split into the Githyanki and the Githzerai. The Githyanki live in the astral plane, and the Githzerai live in Limbo, the plane of chaos. The Githyanki are now a faction of space pirates who are mind flayers, and the Githzerai won't be talked about in this video, because they are stupid and unrelated. Remember when I told you that the silver cord you had when you traveled with astral projection was almost unbreakable? Yeah, the Githyanki has some special swords that can cut through it. If that happens, you are dead. Other intelligent life forms consist mostly of planar travelers, wizards, fiends, celestials, a weird life form with no hands and a single bone in its body, unlucky travelers that tried the bag of holding trick, and so on. There's also the Berbalang, which live in the dead deities and collect secrets and bones. Among the less intelligent life are animals that walked into weird portals created by the bag of holding trick and the dreaded astral dreadnought. These massive monsters fly around the astral plane and eat travelers. It can also cut through a silver cord. Finally, there's one last danger you should be warned about when you travel the astral plane. As you fly through the vast void, suddenly the sky darkens and the planet starts to shake and rumble. You feel as if you are in a massive storm. As fast as it arrived, it vanishes. This is a psychic wind. It is the astral's version of the ether cyclones in the ethereal plane, and can seriously mess up a journey with all sorts of weird effects, and even yeet you into a random portal. Oh, come on, why is it that every time I talk about psychic winds appear? Hopefully I don't end up in... What?